Okay, so we got a new project into the shop. This is the first for MCSR. It's a Honda 1983 Honda CX650 Turbo. Crazy bike. Only 23 miles. Can you believe that? What a time capsule. Bike's been off the road a long time. Not exactly sure the last time it was running, but at least I think 4 or 5 years ago. So we're going to go do a full recommission. We're going to go through all the fuel system, clean that out, replace any parts. We're going to go through all the braking system, and get this on the road, make it a nice riding bike. We're not going to do anything cosmetic. The client wants to basically have this as a survivor bike. So we're really going to do nothing on the cosmetics. We're just going to make it mechanically reliable, run like a top, and be a nice bike to ride.
As always with these projects, I take lots of pictures for reference before we tear into the bike. So the first thing we do is check oil and coolant, then throw a battery on and see if there's any life. As expected, the bike doesn't fire up, but the starter works and the oil pressure light goes out, which is a good sign. Typically on these early fuel injected bikes, if they are left standing with fuel, the fuel pump and injectors could be locked up. The high pressure fuel pump is located here, and this is easily tested by hooking the pump up to an auxiliary fuel bottle and turning it over on the starter. By cracking open this banjo bolt, we can see if we have any fuel pressure, signalling the pump is good. For good measure, I replace the fuel filter on the inlet to the pump. I remove the 2 injectors located here and take them to the bench and fire them up with a 12-volt tester. Initially, both injectors are stuck with varnished fuel, but release themselves after a couple of tries. Never leave the injector though permanently connected to the battery, as it could damage it. It's common for them not to release when fired from the bike because the pulse width driving the injector from the ECU is very narrow at idle and doesn't have enough energy to overcome the stuck injector solenoid. By just applying 12 volts to the injector from a battery, I can hold the signal on to the injector for a longer time and give it the full energy needed. I then clean the injectors thoroughly with brake cleaner and reassemble them onto the bike and give it fuel and try to fire it up. It fires into life immediately, and so I let the bike warm up and check there are no coolant or oil leaks. The second piece of good news is that the boost gauge is working and indicates the turbo is making boost. Result. As the coolant has sat in the bike for quite a few years, I flush the system and replace it just to be on the safe side. The oil looks like new, as you would expect on a 24-mile bike, so we leave that alone. Next on the list is to address the brakes. Both front and rear calipers are seized and need to be rebuilt, as are the front and rear brake masters. A thorough clean and a fresh set of seals brings them back to life. With the brake calipers and brake masters fully refurbished, I can install them back on the bike along with some fresh Dot 4 brake fluid. With the brakes done, I focus on the gas tank, which has suffered the most from standing with fuel. The tank is quickly cleaned inside with a pressure washer and then left to sit a few days, filled to the neck with rust remover. But within a short time, I can see there are 2 pinholes in the base of the tank which are leaking, and these need to be brazed. Fortunately, the rest of the metalwork on the tank is in good condition. The fuel sender and petcock, however, have seen better days, but they are unique to the turbo bike and we cannot source them anywhere, and so we are forced to repair what we have. The fuel sender assembly is covered in corrosion, so I set to it with a fine wire wheel in the Dremel. I refrain from immersing it in the rust remover in case it damages the resistor strip and wiper arm. Once freed up, I'm able to test the wiper resistance, and it's within spec, both minimum and max. But the low fuel level sensor, which is separate to the wiper, is not savable. After some research, I work out that an early VFR 750 has a similar low fuel sensor. So I buy a used sender unit from eBay and swap them over. I connect the refurbished sender to the bike and activate the float, and it works perfect. As a bonus, the low fuel light also comes on. Next up is the fuel petcock, and I'm able to find some great information on a forum that leads me to a set of seals that should fit. So I drill out the rivets clamping the petcock body together, and I'm able to remove the internal components. I then drill and tap the body to accept M3 screws so I can reassemble it. Forums are a great source of information, and as promised, the seals fitted perfectly. I reassemble the petcock and fit it to the tank. There's a few pieces of trim that need reattaching to the tank before it can be fitted to the bike. I then fit the tank to the bike and run it up for the first time on its own systems. And it runs like a top. Adding more fuel to the tank raises the fuel gauge and the low fuel light goes out. Result. All that is left to do is clean the bodywork and fit it to the bike. It's a total transformation and the bike looks and sounds amazing in its original 24-mile condition. I couldn't be more pleased with the recommission. As we were in a rush to get the bike back to its owner, I didn't film any of the test rides, but it performed flawlessly and I was quite surprised by the power and smoothness of delivery, given the poor reception these bikes received at the time of launch. In fact, I could see how it would make for a great tourer, a thoroughly enjoyable ride. As always, thank you for watching these videos, and if you enjoyed them, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button and send me your comments. It gives us the motivation to provide more and better quality content. Bye for now.